Okay, here we go. First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody to the zoning administrator meeting today. Just some quick reminders that the meeting can be viewed on Zoom with the Zoom. It's on the Zoom number is located on the excuse me, on the screen for you. In terms of, it can be watched on channel 30 as well as streamlined on pinole.gov. Just want to go over quick citizen participation. Persons wishing to speak on an item listed on the agenda may do so when the zoning administrator asks for comments in favor or in opposition of the item item under consideration. After all those persons wishing to speak have done so, the hearing will be closed and the matter will be considered by the zoning administrator prior to rendering a decision. Any person may appeal an action, and we'll get to that later on in the meeting. So with that, I will call the meeting to order. And before we begin, we'd like to do a land acknowledgement. We'd like to thank and acknowledge the Ohlone people who are the traditional custodians of this land. We pay our respects to the Ohlone elders, past, present, and future, who call this place Ohlone land, the land that Pinole sits upon, their home. We are proud to continue their tradition of coming together and growing as a community. We thank the Ohlone community for their stewardship and support, and we look forward to strengthening our ties as we continue our relationship of mutual respect and understanding. And citizens to be heard. We'll move straight on to item C, which is citizens to be heard. The public may address the zoning administrator on items that are within its jurisdiction and not otherwise listed on the agenda. The zoning administrator may discuss the matter brought to their attention, but by state law, actions must be deferred to a future meeting. The time allowed for this is 5 minutes each. Justin, do we have anybody online that wants to make a comment?
We do have people online. No hands raised at the moment, though.
Okay, great. So we'll go straight.
We do have a hand raised now.
Okay.
It's a caller with a phone number ending in 5748. So when you're ready, please press *6 to unmute.
Hello.
Hi, we can hear
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Is this the public comment? Citizens to be heard?
Yes.
So it doesn't have to be on the agenda per se, or that we're going to have open comments to the public for the agendized item as well?
Yes. Yes, we will.
All right. I'd like to make a public comment. This is Anthony Vosbrink speaking on the behalf of citizens for a better Pinole, the senior center people, and basically the taxpayers of the community of the city of Pinole. And I hope the city manager is listening in on this, as well as several of the city council men and women. But these items have been brought up numerous times before, and I hope Mr. Dave Henham can lead the way to direct the comments under the Ralph M. Brown Act to the right people to get these items brought to the forefront of what the city is facing with regard to public health, welfare, and safety. Aside from Dave's Chicken, with these other items that have been brought up at numerous times with numerous people, documented to certain people on the planning commission, certain people on the staff, certain people on the city council, as well as some people with Confire, and maybe not the right people with the library system or Confire, but with the help of Dave Henham, before he leaves us high and dry here without a capable, comparable replacement. I hate to go over my laundry list again, because most of this is old news, but it better be, people need to step up to the plate so it can be addressed as very important new news, because if it doesn't happen, it won't happen come election time. You will see where the chips fall, as well as endorsing the position of our new city manager, whether she can step up to the plate or not and handle some of these items that can be addressed, that should have been addressed months, if not years ago. The first item is that with regard to the Caltrans lines and where they've been drawn, so on, in and around our city with the ingress and the regress, there is problems. And I know Dave Hanna mentioned in the last meeting that they have an arrangement with Caltrans where there's a certain type of easement on either side of, say, a fence line or an on-ramp or an off-ramp per se. And I'll just use Pinole Valley Road, I-80, as one of the examples, you know. But there are numerous potholes all over the place, on the on-ramp, before the on-ramp, way before the underpass, on either side of the underpass, on around that fence line, before the fence line, after the fence line, underneath the overpass. And the city needs to address that, pick up the phone, write a letter, and document all of this that we have done, the public has done. But no, we don't get no support from Caltrans and no support from the city of Pinole to take care of these problems. The lights, besides the potholes and the big giant alligator divots there, and people's cars being messed up, the lights above on I-80 underpasses are out as well. They can't replace the light bulbs. Caltrans can't do there. The street lights on the on-ramp below Jack in the Box are out on the Caltrans on-ramp, et cetera, et cetera. And that needs to be addressed. They finally got the weeds addressed, but I guess they're busy with that big bridge over there in Crockett. But anyway, the other item was, besides Caltrans and our agreement or lack of an agreement with Caltrans, is the problem with the Pinole Library situation. Okay, it was brought up several times that there's piles of debris. I just went there the other day, and what was once 2 or 3 big piles of debris is now 4 giant piles of debris, probably enough to fill up 2 giant recycling trucks from Richmond Sanitary. And supposedly it's right behind the library around the creek line. Now that's county property, someone told me, but the county was told, and they know, and the city of Pinole knows that's behind there, because numerous people were told that. I don't want to name names, but they need to do something because it's a big fire hazard.
Thank you, Anthony. Your time is up. Thank you.
And the last item is the parking lot divots in the library that need to be paved there. Please have them finish the contract job and give us a decent slurry seal, if nothing else, to replace the parking lot with the build out of the rest of the library.
Your time is up. Your time is up. Thank you for those comments, and we'll make sure that we get those to where they need to go in terms of the Public Works Department. So, are there any other public comment at this point?
There are no other hands raised online right now.
Okay. So with that, we'll go to item D, which is a public hearing. At the beginning of an item, the zoning administrator will read the description of the item that states on the agenda. A brief presentation on the proposed project will be given. And for those items listed as public hearings, the zoning administrator will open the public hearing and ask the applicant if they wish to make a presentation. Those persons in favor of the project will then be given an opportunity to speak, followed by those who are opposed to the project. The applicant will then be given an opportunity for rebuttal. The public hearing will then be closed, and the zoning administrator will consider the item. The zoning administrator will then vote to approve, deny, approve in modified form, or continue the matter to a later date for decision. The zoning administrator will announce the decision and advise the audience of the appeal procedure. With that, we have item number 1, which is a use permit for Dave's Hot Chicken, administrative use permit for Dave's Hot Chicken for outdoor seating and dining. So I'll give a brief presentation of the project, and then we'll move forward and open the public hearing. Basically, kind of give some background. The applicant is seeking an approval of an administrative use permit for the purpose of outdoor dining on their property, located at 2714 Pinole Valley Road in the Pinole Valley Plaza Shopping Center. As part of the project, there's a map as shown as Figure 1. The applicant will provide tables and chairs and garbage cans. Figure 2 shows the type of tables and chairs to be used in the project, which are currently red tables and chairs with the tables that are bolted into the ground. The chairs will be removed or pulled in each night. The project site is located along the west side of Pinole Valley Road between Interstate 80 and Estates Avenue. Adjacent land uses are summarized by, to the north as Interstate 80, to the west is existing residential uses, which is right behind the Sarah Drive Estates. To the south is existing commercial mixed-use development in Pinole Valley High School. And to the east, existing single-family residential units as well as commercial mixed-use businesses. In July of 2026, Dave's Hot Chicken's company submitted an application for administrative use permit for outdoor dining, in which Section 17.68 of the 020 of the Pinole Municipal Code regulates outdoor dining within the city of Pinole. And Section 17.68020E1 requires that findings to be made for approval of this project. In terms of its general plan consistency, goal LU7 of the land use and economic development element calls for balancing housing and employment opportunities to reduce trips in and out of the region and encourage commercial development, which maintains and enhances the quality of the city's commercial area, to create a climate that supports existing businesses and provides basic goods and services for residents, and broadening the tax base of the community to provide revenues for public services. This expansion will provide additional services for the Pinole residents and visitors and would help support a local business that generates sales tax revenue for the city. The request is also consistent with goal LU8 of the land use and economic development element, which calls for concentrating commercial development and mixed-use activity areas within major transportation corridors, including Pinole Valley Road. As part of the zoning, this property has a zoning of commercial mixed use in the 3-corridor specific plan, and restaurants are a permitted use within the zoning district. And so with this project, we have the findings that are required as part of 17.68. And what I'll do is I'll go over the findings, and then I will give my determination of each finding and then the result and move forward. The 4 findings that are made that are required to be made is: 1 is to encroach onto a continuous pedestrian path or travel of at least 6 feet in width. It will not obstruct pedestrian and wheelchair access. B, unduly interfere with pedestrian traffic on the sidewalk. C, unduly interfere with access of public employees and utility workers to meters, fire hydrants, or other objects, which we call street hardware, in the right-of-way. And D, block or obstruct the view of necessary traffic devices. So in terms of finding number A, Dave's Hot Chickens will install the tables into the concrete adjacent to the building. By installing the tables adjacent to the building, there is sufficient pedestrian access of 6 feet in width so that the pedestrians will be able to access other parts of the center, as seen as Figure 2 in the report. Based on that, the staff has determined that the finding has been met. In terms of finding B, this project will not interfere with pedestrian traffic on the sidewalk. The diagram that was submitted by Dave's Hot Chicken shows that customers will have more than enough space for pedestrian traffic, as well as be able to enter and exit the building, because you can still go in and exit. Also, there are other businesses along that corridor that also have outdoor dining, that also have pedestrian access as well. So based on that determination, staff has determined that this finding has been met. In terms of C, unduly interfere with access of public employees and utility workers to meters, fire hydrants, or other objects. Where the outdoor eating area is located, it does not interfere with access of the public employees and utility workers to meters. Most of the meters are on the buildings and on the backside of the buildings. In this case, as well as fire hydrants. The fire hydrants are located within other areas of the center. However, there is no fire hydrant within this area. And in terms of other objects such as street hardware, since the restaurant is actually off of Pinole Valley Road and within the shopping center itself, there is no interference of that, in which staff has determined that this finding has been met. And then block or obstruct the view of necessary traffic devices. The project is located on private property. That does not enter the right-of-way or block the view of intersections. The project is not adjacent to the street or driveways of the center. The tables and chairs are set back adjacent to the building. Based on that analysis, staff has determined that this finding has been met. In terms of the environmental review of this project has been categorically exempt per section 15301, existing facilities of the California Environmental Quality Act guidelines, and that it consists of no physical expansion of existing businesses within an existing mixed-use commercial building. Meaning that in terms of the expansion outside, it is the whole shopping center was part of the environmental. When the shopping center came in, there were findings as part of that environmental document that would allow for any type of outdoor dining or any other type of outdoor use within that project area. So with that, staff is recommending that the zoning administrator go back here. Staff is recommending that the zoning administrator adopt Resolution 2601, approving an administrative use permit 260002 to allow outdoor dining located at 2714 Pinole Valley Road for Dave's Hot Chicken. Let the record also show that as part of the resolution, there are 13 conditions that the applicant will have to adhere to as part of this project. And so with that, that ends my presentation. And so I will now open the public hearing. And Justin, is there anybody online who wants to speak?
I see several people online right now. I don't see a hand raised from potential applicants, but we do have a public comment.
We do have a public comment?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the public comment?
Same caller, and phone number ending 5748. Anthony.
Okay.
Frank.
Since the applicant is not here, is not making a statement, if this applicant is there anybody who's in favor of the project wishes to speak, they can speak now, or if there's anybody who is against the project may speak at this point. So go ahead and let him in. Okay. And they have 5 minutes.
Okay, Anthony, when you're available, please press *6 to unmute.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello? Yes, my name's Anthony Vosbrink, senior citizen, longtime taxpayer of Pinole, homeowner. And I'm very familiar with that property and what is being presented here. And for the following reasons, myself and others, members of the shopping community in Pinole Valley Shopping Center, the senior center, and voting members of the public are against Dave's Chicken, that resolution, regardless of some of the conditions you have put down there, or maybe we need to add a few more on top of that have been somewhat passed over or ignored, because this is no basic boilerplate / cookie cutter type permit request by Dave's Chicken, because as it stands now, Dave's Chicken has upset the whole outside public access environment in that busy shopping center corridor that's already highly trafficked by foot pedestrians, shopping carts going up and down in front of Dave's Chicken, and it had been before Dave's Chicken went in there. Okay, and since Dave's Chicken has gone in there, several of the business owners have complained about it to me and other people. Fiat Music, Trader Joe's, T-Mobile, granted, and some even the other restaurants. But in addition to that, several restaurants, as Dave Hannum has been told and put on notice with the Planning Commission earlier in the year, several times, at 3 or 4 meetings by myself, if not some other people, is that, you know, they have created a problem there, because it's like a beehive as it is, and the other competing businesses, outdoor, indoor businesses, have added more tables and have put more obstructions there. Dave's Chicken does not need 5 big red tables facing perpendicular to the parking lot, obstructing 40 to 50% of that sidewalk. Granted, they met the 6-foot thoroughfare, but people I've seen bumped into that with shopping carts, People with dogs have tripped and got stuck on the bottom of the tables because they're permanently bolted down there. And they shouldn't be permanently bolted down. They should be removed, if not completely, at least after business hours, and they should be turned around in the other direction if you're going to put a condition and cut the number of tables down from 4 to 5 out front, and another 3 to 4, another 3 tables, I believe, are wrapped around the side breezeway corridor. They don't need that kind of extra advertising and exposure. The tables are very rarely used at all. Every other time myself and other people have been by there, there's only one person or one group dining on one table outside on the front or the corridor. And if you go later in the day after school, maybe 2 tables are taken up or 3, but 2 out of the 3, if not 3 out of the 4, are taken up with school kids loitering, talking business stories and other things. We don't need to have that kind of an attraction over there in that already business foot traffic and congested car traffic corridor where people are getting in and out of their cars, double, triple parking, and trying to get in and out of Trader Joe's and some of the established businesses. Plus, we're setting a precedent for the other neighboring businesses that they're going to have to apply. You know, sure, we get a permit fee or whatever else, but other businesses will say, well, if Dave's can have 5 or 8 tables out there facing that way up to 40 to 50% of the sidewalk, we're going to do it likewise. And it's a situation that just has to be addressed. And I suggest that they do not pass this resolution 2601 or 26002 without further discussion. If no discussion, put on further conditions to limit the amount of tables out there, face them the other way, and take the tables out of the corridor. That is a fire hazard. If the fire trucks have to come in and out of that corridor and wrap around that corner trying to put out a fire in one of the neighboring businesses, they might trip up there, if not push the pedestrians up against the building or push them out over the curb into that busy parking area, which is already congested with people and vehicles like that. With regard to public access, public health and safety and welfare and a quality of life. And Pinole does not need Dave's Chicken with 7 or 8 new tables outside. They can't even fill the inside of their business as it stands, okay? And their signage is bright all night. I would question to look at the signage they have too, with their lights being too bright rather than somewhere down by Uptown Yard by some planning commissioner that was questioning 2 or 3 light bulbs there. But I appreciate your consideration in my recommendations with others behind me backing it. Thank you.
All right, any other comments or concerns?
Let's see, I do see callers, but no hands raised online.
No
currently.
hands were raised online? Okay. So with that, staff will close the, if there's no more comments, seeing none, close the public hearing. So basically, you know, these businesses, these restaurants, this is just another, what we would call another amenity that allows them to do business in the city. Outdoor dining is a component that sometimes it may seem like they're not being used, but there could be days where they are. I think this is something that we have in all the shopping centers, or at least most of the shopping centers that have restaurants within our community. Most of them have at least some area within there that they can sit down and enjoy a meal or sit down outside and do that. I know that's something that the city has been looking at for many restaurants, either in the downtown area as well as our other shopping centers with the restaurants in them. I think one of the conditions that I think needs to be outlined is that they do need to maintain the 6-foot width. They do need to maintain that their areas and their furniture is maintained in a quality manner in terms of like no graffiti. If the tables and chairs are starting to crack, they'll need to replace those as part of this project, as part of the conditions. Also, there shall be, based on what they have out there right now, there should be no expansion without further review from the city. As condition number 8 states, that any outdoor expansion in the future shall require further review and approval through the appropriate use permit amendment or new entitlement application process, which should have to be reviewed by either the planning administrator or the zoning administrator again. So they'd have to resubmit. Also, it should be noted there's a condition regarding that there shall be no outdoor dining furniture shall be stored inside, that all the outdoor dining furniture shall be stored inside the building when the business is closed. So all the chairs will need to come in as well. So, I mean, I think the staff put together a list of conditions that should at least be able to allow Dave's Hot Chicken to have outdoor dining there. And it has also the ability that if it gets out of control and if there are major complaints that are being registered to the planning department, the community development department, that code enforcement not only has the standard code enforcement issues, but also the condition of approval to remove the permit and remove the tables and chairs. So with that, I don't see anything. And that's kind of my explanation of in terms of the issues with the caller. So with that, basically, I have to the zoning administrator will consider the item. The zoning administrator will then vote to approve, deny, or approve in modified form, or to a later date for a decision. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to approve Resolution 2601, allowing for the outdoor dining. However, I am going to modify a condition regarding the tables and chairs, the number of tables and chairs, in condition number that, or basically add a condition 14 that states there shall be no more than 8 tables along the business frontage. So basically what I've done is I've kind of, so then I've limited the number. They can't have any more than that. If they have more than that outside, they'll have to reduce it down to 8. And so to help accommodate that, to make sure, especially the tables that are going around the front or going along the side, that the access can get through there. We don't want to clog up that middle. So that's only the added condition. So with that, zoning administrator passes resolution, approves condition or resolution 2601 with the added condition number 14. There should be no more than 8 tables along the business frontage. And with that, I vote to approve the project. So with that, I have to announce the appeal process, because if there is any person that wishes to appeal the action of the zoning administrator, they may file an appeal with the city clerk in writing within 10 days of such action. The appeal will be considered by the Planning Commission. Following a public hearing, the Planning Commission may act to confirm, modify, or reverse the action of the zoning administrator. The cost of the appeal decision is $500 and a minimum of $2,500 deposit fee. Note, if you challenge a decision regarding a project in court, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised at the public hearing or in writing delivered to the city of Pinole at or prior to the public hearing. Thank you. So with that, I'll be moving on to item number E, new business, which we don't have any at this point. So at this point, I will adjourn the meeting.